2017 coming to an end. 2018 right around the corner. I think this is, well, it's the perfect time to do a little bit of reflection. What's up YouTube, Jason here with Bite My Bits. Like I said in the intro, now is the time for a little bit of reflection. Reflecting on what 2017 was like, maybe talk about what I want to do with 2018. And while I'm at it, I might even tell a few stories, talk about my inspiration to starting YouTube, why I'm here, you know, that sort of stuff. Basically, the video is not completely organized, kind of just turning on the camera, got a few numbers in front of me that I want to read off, but at the end of the day, I'm just gonna wing this one. Okay, so 2017, been an interesting year for me. It's been a good year, actually. Over the last year, I've gained over 15,000 subscribers just in 2017 alone. And while I'm not trying to legitimize myself with that number alone, it means a lot to me. So I thank everybody out there who has joined this channel in the last year. I appreciate you for joining, I appreciate you for watching, and I hope you stick around for some more. Furthermore, in 2017, I've had 2.6 million views, 2.64 to be exact. At least kind of, sort of exact. It's an exact number that I can come up with that's close enough to say it is. Anyways, basically at the beginning of 2017, I had 4.47 million views on my channel. Now I have 7.11 million views on my channel. 26,000 subscribers at the beginning and, well, 42.5 now. So for growth-wise, I've had my biggest year yet in 2017, and that's why I think it's been very exciting for me, because I'm kind of seeing all the fruits of my labor pay off a little bit. You know, I'm gaining people who want to see what I have to do, what I have to say, and I mean, it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. So I know it's just a number, but somebody like me who's kind of starting a channel, like still technically starting a channel, it means a lot. So I don't know how to say thank you enough to the guys and girls that watch what I do, but thank you, and I'm just really happy that you're here. Also, 2017 has been good as far as building better relationships with other companies, specifically Plex, I think, is probably one of my biggest relationship I've helped build in 2017. They've, you know, stepped up and they've offered to sponsor, you know, my channel. They're basically helping me out, helping me grow, helping me afford the cameras and stuff that I have in order to provide better content for my viewers. And that's actually been really nice, because before that, and really still now, I go to work, I work 40 hours a week, I have a full-time job, and you know, I dump a lot of the money that I earn there into YouTube to try to buy the stuff that I want in order to get the video quality that I think I need. And it's nice to help, or to have some of that cost offset, you know, through sponsorships or whatever. So it's nice to have those relationships being built, and 2017 seems to have been a good year for that. Even more so, I've learned a lot of things, I've played with a lot of stuff, and I think that I can find that as a successful point in my channel. And that could be anything from tinkering and fine-tuning that Plex server that I built, up to just messing with different clients and things like that for Plex, and doing some tests like Battle OS and learning, you know, what those have to offer, what the performance differences are, etc. You know, that's all been a huge learning experience for me, and it's been a fun ride to do it. So I think that 2017 has been really just kind of a great year all around. You know, everything from, like, you know, the subscribers, the views, the relationships, you know, the learning, I mean, everything wrapped into one. It just boils down to one simple just fact. And it's been it's been a good year for me. And this is really all thanks to you guys. So again, thank you. I appreciate you for watching. I really do. So what about 2018? Right? It's been a question on my mind now for about a month, and I've been just trying to think, like, what could I improve on? What could I make changes to that would help me be more successful on YouTube? Now, that could be either with, you know, videos that are going to get maybe more hits, more views, more positive, you know, reinforcement to, or better quality content, you know, whether it's image quality or, you know, it's the content itself being higher quality, whatever that might be. What does 2018 hold for me? Well, in reality, I don't really know. As much as I've been stewing over it, I haven't landed on a whole lot, but I do have some ideas. The first idea I think is going to be easily obtainable for me, just because it's a matter of just changing the way I approach some stuff, and that is more structured reviews, right? More structured testing and reviews of whatever type of product that I want to check out on this channel, basically. And that really stemmed from the security camera series that I started doing. I got a new fascination with security cameras. I like looking at them and checking them out and hooking them up. This has spawned my whole house wiring thing. And I mean, it's been a very intriguing thing for me. And I want to continue testing out different cameras. I want to continue seeing what their quality can offer, what their value is, that sort of thing. So when I was thinking about future reviews for cameras, I want to stop winging it, as it were. And I want to come up with some structured tests, maybe a scaling or a numbering system or a rating system, whatever. Something that, it's going to be well defined. It's going to be easily understood, that sort of deal. And that just led into, more of my videos where if I'm gonna be checking out more things or doing other things, what kind of structure can I lay out that will allow that to be a better quality video, not in, image quality, but just better contented video. So 2018 is going to mean that for me. I'm going to try to be a lot more structured, a lot more pre-planning than what I do right now. In reality, for the most point, really I've been flying by the seat of my pants. I get off work, I'm trying to get a bunch of work done, before I got to go to bed, get the videos recorded, get them edited, get the B-roll, get the testing, get the setups, get everything done in as little time as possible has essentially made me take shortcuts. It's made me, overlook certain things that after I get done editing and upload and someone leaves a comment like, well, you didn't talk about this. I'm like, oh my God, why did I not talk about this? I thought about this, but I didn't talk about this. So I want to have less of that. I don't know how easy it's going to be to obtain that, but I want to have less of that. And I think that if I spend a little bit of time pre-planning what I'm going to do with a product, that might actually help me make better use of my time. Because a lot of times I'm just like, well, what's next? What's the next step? And I'm making it up as I go along. Everything's a little bit different from the last video. So 2018, I think, is going to hopefully, if I can do it right, bring a lot more structure to my channel and hopefully have better videos because of it. And the second thing, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do or not. I've been wanting to do this. I've been trying to do this for a long time, but I'm gonna continue that effort, and maybe I'll try to focus a little bit more on it this year than I had before. But I want to get into computers and servers. I know I'm into computers and servers, and I've had servers and stuff like that, but really, in my channel, I don't have that much. I love building computers. I love building servers. I love just dealing with computer hardware in general. I want to be able to, for example, build a Ryzen-based computer and run it as a Plex media server and see which one with each different Ryzen CPU lineup, like the 15, 16, and 1700, what numbers do they perform at? How many streams can you get? What kind of quality? Whatever I can squeeze out of that with each CPU, I want to be able to put that to paper and say, this is what it can do. I've thought about, kind of taking a cheesy way and kind of, I haven't actually done it and I don't plan on doing it, but I've even thought about just buying all the hardware, building the computer, running my test as fast as humanly possible, and then returning it. But I can't get over the fact that is just a slimy thing to do. So, like if I bought all that stuff from Newegg and then I built the computer and then I put it all back in its packaging and sent it back, I would feel like a dickhole, and I don't want to feel like a dickhole. So that's really what it boils down to, is that I can't go off and buy, thousands of dollars worth of computer parts all the time. I can't build these servers every month just because I can't afford it. And I'm not on a level or even known in the computer community enough to be able to get sponsors for that sort of thing. So it's kind of like that catch-22. To get sponsors, you have to be in it, but to be in it, you need sponsors, at least if you can't afford to buy your way in. So on that note, I've been thinking of trying to just buy and resell, essentially. I've had two thoughts. One, I kind of want to get on like Craigslist and say, if you build the parts, if you pick the parts, you build the parts, I will build the computer for you for free in exchange for allowing me to tinker with it for maybe a few days. That's basically me just running some tests on it, seeing what I can get from it, making a video about it, that sort of deal. And that sounds all good and dandy, and there's probably going to be a few people who might want that, but honestly, how do you just give some random guy like a couple $1,000s worth of computer parts and just hope he doesn't steal it from you? So I wouldn't trust a stranger with that kind of deal. So I don't know. It's one of those things that it's an interesting market to get into. So I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things, like I've been brainstorming, trying to find ways to get access to computer hardware, if only temporarily, just to build a computer, even if I'm, building it for somebody else or giving it to somebody else or whatever. But the cost of shipping, like let's say if I build one and sell it on eBay, cost of shipping, pretty high. And then you have the chance of it getting destroyed in shipment, because let's be honest, things get destroyed in shipment. So there's that. Long story short, I'll cut this real short because I ramble. I want to try to focus on getting into computer building, server building, and testing. And to do that, I'm probably going to end up having to spend some money. And that's fine, but I just have to figure out what that budget would look like and how often I might be able to do that, if at all. So that's a goal. It's still a working goal. It's something I want to focus on. But I really want to get into the computer scene, that whole culture more in 2018. And I've wanted to do this since the beginning of the channel. That's been a thing that I've wanted to do forever. It's just one of those things that it does take a lot of money to get into, and I've had, access to probably enough money to do this. But since I do still consider myself to be a growing channel or a baby channel, still trying to legitimize myself, because I don't even feel like I'm legitimate yet, I have been focusing on quality of my videos, try to up the quality, like you can see with this new camera that I have. You probably don't see the lights, but the lighting, the microphone, the audio, the video, I've been focusing on that a lot in 2017, which is also another reason why 2017 was a big year for me. I should probably mention that. You are seeing right now the image quality coming from my Sony FS7. It's a very expensive camera. It was probably the biggest purchase that's not a vehicle or a house that I've ever made in my entire life. And I absolutely love it, but I loathe it at the same time. And I love it because it produces image quality that is far beyond what I need for this channel. But it is so complex that I technically have got it running and I have good quality from it, but there's still a lot to learn, and it's just that's it. There's still a lot to learn. Until I actually learn what all it has to offer, how to use everything that it has to offer, it's still not going to be working at its fullest potential. Like, I don't even shoot this in S-Log 3, right? So it's in the custom mode, which is like the basic, almost point and shoot mode, which works great for what I am using it for, but I would really like to bring out, more color depth or whatever with the S-Log 3 if I could learn how to A, set the camera up correctly, and B, color grade it. So yeah. Side note, I was in talks with Jay from Jayztwocents, and that kind of fell off, which I don't blame him. He was giving me more attention than I deserve on Twitter, and then we emailed a couple times, and then I haven't heard from him since. But he was initially going to try to help me out, with some settings and try to get me into the S-Log 3 and, maybe give me some guidelines. I even asked him maybe if I can get his all file just to see what profiles he uses, and try to see if I can adapt those to my situation. But again, that kind of fell off, and I did not even send him another email asking him again. It's kind of like one of those things, like, I already got more than enough attention from you in the first place. So if you decided that you wanted to stop talking to me, I'm not even going to complain. I'm just happy that you even tried to help me. So there's that. It is what it is, and I'll leave it at that. And I'm appreciative that he tried to help me, and he actually did help me with the video that he made just, for public view. And that's helped me with some multi-camera stuff and everything. But even his color grading in that multi-camera video that he made has helped a lot too. So he's definitely still helped me. But anyways, in 2017, I also made the big purchase of the Sony FS7. I made the purchase of this, I forgot, Sennheiser something, one or the other. It's like $1,000 microphone. I still have the same audio recorder because it's worked wonders for me. It's cheap and it just works, but I still have that. The audio, the video, all of that, now I think for my channel are they're on point. I got the tools that I need to make the videos that I want, almost. There's actually a lens that I want to get so I can get close-ups of products, but I've been kind of faking it. Anyways, lenses are expensive too. The one I want's like $2,200. It's a little shallower and can get anyways. I wanted to get into computers. I haven't done that yet, so I want to try to focus on doing that. And since the beginning of this channel, I've always had that idea of getting into. And, well, you know what? Let's talk about the beginning of my channel, since I'm on this, word vomit spree. Since we're on the topic, this is actually pretty close to my 3rd year being on YouTube, which is I'm surprised I lasted this long, but 3 years on YouTube. It's kind of a big deal for me. And I kind of deal with sometimes like a self-doubt thing where I doubt either something I'm doing or something I'm going to do, or, my worth or whatever. So, there was actually a time where I really didn't even want to get on YouTube just because I didn't like the risk, or I didn't think I would be able to do it or be good enough or whatever. So, the fact that I'm here and the fact that I lasted 3 years is a big deal for me. And it really is, it always circles back to the subscribers, the viewers, the people who actually watch the crap that I put on the internet and for some reason think it's worth watching the next video for. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. That's kind of a big deal for me. I actually have a few people on YouTube that have been an inspiration this entire time, and even a little bit before from one of them. But for the most part, I've had inspiration from 3 different people. The first you probably have noticed on my channel, and even in this video, is going to be Jerry from Barnacules. Gotta be honest, that guy, he is like a beacon of positive light in a dark room that shouldn't even be there, I mean, he deals with so much stuff, and the reason why he motivated me, or he motivates me continually, is because his life he has so many curveballs thrown at him. I mean, just recently, the dude got in an accident just trying to, enjoy Christmas. And he has so much stuff that happens to him, gets thrown at him, a curveball in life, just constantly being thrown at him. But most of the time, he can just bounce back. He goes through a little spat of, being down or whatever, but he always bounces back, and he always carries this positive, just kind of goofy, fun-loving guy. I mean, I draw inspiration from that, I think, if Jerry, with all those curveballs being thrown at him, if he can get up and make the next video and upload it and still look positive and still be a jolly guy, then what's stopping me from doing it? I don't have a fraction of the curveballs thrown at me that he does, and yet he still makes better videos than I do. So it's like, if he can do this, I should be able to do it. And anytime I think, maybe this video is not worth it, or maybe, I don't want to make another video, or I don't want to work on a video specifically, or whatever the case is, anytime I get into that slump, I honestly kind of think about what Jerry deals with and how Jerry bounces back. And it's like, it helps. It really does. It helps a lot to kind of keep me going. So I know it's a little weird, but you have to draw inspiration from somewhere. And Jerry's my positive beacon of light, as it were. The second one is actually Jay from Jayztwocents. I watch a lot of his content, even still watch a lot of his content. That guy, I mean, he's kind of a unique flavor, and I find a lot of my personality traits co-align with some of his personality traits, so I think that's why I relate to him a lot. But he kind of has that zero fucks given type of attitude. Like, this is my car. If you don't like the way I drive, then you can get out type of deal. And I really like that. I lead a lot of my life like that. It's like, I do what I want. If you don't like it, I don't care. You want to make fun of me for it? Doesn't matter, because I'm having fun. And on top of that, he seems so, and I don't know, he might not be, but he seems so professional in his field. And, like he's structured, he's professional, he separates his business from his life. And, he maintains that professionalism, that overall just structure to his YouTube channel that I completely and utterly just envy. Like 100%, hands down, I envy him. For what he's able to achieve, for the videos he's able to make, for the structure that he has, the attitude he's able to maintain, just zero fucks given, like, hashtag Jay's a dickhole thing. Like, really, he's not a dickhole, he just doesn't take shit. And I can relate to that, because there's a lot of shit in my life I'm just like, I don't care what you think. A lot of people give me shit for driving a Mustang. I don't care if you don't like a Mustang. I like driving a Mustang. I make the payments every month. I drive to and from work every day in it. I enjoy it. I pay for it. It's my deal. If you don't like it. So I like his mentality on it. I like his professionalism on it. And honestly, he has been stepping up his video quality game so much, probably over the last year, maybe year and a half. And I've taken so much notice. In fact, I bought my FS7 because he has an FS7, and I envied the quality he's able to put out. Obviously, I have a ways to go to even be close to his level, of just beautiful video quality that he produces. I mean, it's not just the camera, it's the lighting, the setup of the scene, the backdrops. I mean, he has the whole thing down, and it didn't happen overnight. I mean, he's been working on this forever, and I envy that, and I take inspiration from what he's been doing, how he's been growing, how he's been evolving his channel. So, he has definitely been, the second beacon of light for professionalism and mentality and quality that I look forward or I look at all the time. And then the last person that I draw, and this is going to be interesting to note. I don't know if I've ever said this before. Paul from Paulshardware. The reason why this one is so interesting is because Paul is actually the reason why I am on YouTube. Like he's it. He's the reason. He's why I'm here. I would not be here if Paul did not exist. That's just the truth. And I'll try to keep this story short and try to keep it from, sounding like a bro crush or anything. But, I never really was a constant YouTube user as far as like had an account and like had subscriptions and checked YouTube every day, that sort of thing. But I was always on Newegg and I was always looking at computer parts and I was always just daydreaming and building, fictional computers that I couldn't afford and dreaming of hardware that I would never be able to touch. And Paul, the little bastard, he's always playing with this stuff. He's building these computers that, he just gets to play with it. It's his job to play and build and deal with and present and review and talk and he's engulfed and surrounded by computer parts. And that's what kind of leaned me into the YouTube direction, because I was on Newegg and then, they had the links to the YouTube videos and it's like the YouTube channel and it's always Paul and some other people, of course, but I like Paul's style. He's got like kind of a calm demeanor, which I can relate to. I like his method of presentation, clean cut, precise, to the point. He talks about it. He gives you his opinion. I liked his presentation in the Newegg days. And it was one of those things that every time I saw his video pop up, I'm like, this little bastard. This guy's sitting around playing with computer parts and he's probably getting paid twice as much as I am at my job. So, yeah. And after seeing enough of his videos on Newegg, playing with computer parts and thinking to myself how much I wanted to be in his spot, right? I wanted to have a YouTube channel to where I could play with computer parts and I could get paid to do it. After doing that, that's when I started getting more involved into YouTube, right? I followed Paul, which led me to Kyle, which led me to, well, it did previously lead me to Tech Syndicate, but that's kind of a thing in the past. Then Jay and Barnacules, etc. It opened up the door to him and his clique type of deal. The people that are kind of on his level, that came up at the same time he did or whatever. It led me to that whole group of people, and those are the kind of the group of people that I follow and some of which I admire now. But I started to get more and more intrigued by the whole thing, the whole idea of YouTube, the concept of just having a YouTube channel and being able to play with some of the latest and greatest stuff, the latest and greatest hardware, and talk and give your opinion and tinker. And it's very alluring. But I honestly, and this goes back to me and my self-doubt, I did not think that I could do it. I just didn't think I could do it. I figured that if I wanted to do this, I would end up having to do it full time, and I didn't think that was a possibility. Then I went to like, okay, I'll just do it part-time and then maybe that'll work. But then I doubted my ability to do that. And then I analyzed things, I ran numbers, crunched, I looked up videos, I watched what people had to say, about having their own YouTube channel, how they can try to make some money or how they get review samples or, I looked everything up that I possibly could to see what it takes to just get involved. And I compared a lot of that to Paul, and I thought, how am I ever going to be even at Paul's level with his channel, which he didn't have a ton of subscribers at the time, but how could I ever even be at his level, right? He has the connections. He knows these people. He knows vendors. He's a known person. He's a made man, that type of deal. Like, how do I build a relationship like that with a company and ask, to let me borrow some hardware to build something, how do I? It was very overwhelming. And even today, I haven't even tried to get a sponsorship to build a computer because, I kind of feel embarrassed. Like, hey, Intel, you want to send me a CPU? Yeah, my name's Jason with Byte My Bits. No, Byte, like BYT. I got like 40,000. Hello? Honestly, I think that's how it would go. Whether it's, over the phone or an email, it's probably an email. But the point is, if I send some of that stuff out, I see myself getting completely ignored. So, and that's the way I feel now. Imagine the way it was then, where I haven't even been through that process. So completely overwhelming to the point of just an impossible task, something that I couldn't see myself doing in a million years. I just did not see it as a possibility for me at all. And then something happened, something monumental, huge, completely out of left field. It was an amazing moment for me and probably an amazing moment for Paul. We shared a moment. I'm just kidding. We didn't share anything. It was late 2014. I want to say September. Paul made an announcement. He said, I am leaving my full-time job at Newegg and I'm going to be a full-time YouTuber. I saw this video. I was like, holy crap, he's doing it. He's going legit. Wow, right? But then my eyes went straight to his subscriber count. And I think he had like 89,000 subscribers, maybe 79. I don't know, somewhere around there. 79, 89, 90, somewhere about. And I thought that was like, whoo, like you see people like Linus who have millions of subscribers and you think, okay, obviously I can't do that. But then you see somebody like Paul who has 70, 80, 90,000 subscribers and he starts doing it full time. Like, wow, holy crap. If that's a possibility, even remotely for me to get up to that number or close to that number and at least have, enough income from YouTube or sponsors or whatever that would supplement, past what I make at my real job, then technically, even if I didn't want to leave my full-time job, I would still be making as much, if not more money than what I make just going to 9 to 5. Just going into work every day, doing my hours. I get paid more by going home and doing my hobby. And that actually, I went full blown after that. That video, I think the same night that he posted that video, I got on eBay and I ordered lights and I try to get, I just started ordering stuff, really, really cheap stuff to get started. But, and basically in December, same year, a few months later, after a few trial and errors, I uploaded and legitimized my first YouTube video. And it was absolutely garbage. Video chat in different languages, translated in almost real time, right from your computer to anywhere in the world. A new type of USB, built for the future, completely expandable, made to work with all your future devices, all in one. Digital imaging so fast, speed of lights look like bullets in slow motion, and you can see around corners. These are your weekly bits. Ooh. And that was like the best out of 3. I think I did that thing a few times. So it was kind of embarrassing, but I had this little thing in the back of my mind, like, no one's really going to see this. He's going to get like 10 views, so that's whatever, right? Keep doing it. And this was all because, Paul achieved essentially what I consider to be, one of 3 things that make you an official YouTube channel. Oh, that's another thing. I have, 3 things. 3 things that I think a person needs on YouTube before they can be considered, a legitimate YouTuber. And I say people, I'm talking about me because everyone has their own little personal goals and their own justification for what they are. But for me, there's 3 things that would make me a legitimate YouTuber. And honestly, I haven't hit any of those 3 things. So that's why I still think I'm a beginner at this whole entire thing and I'm still trying to grow and I'm still trying to create a channel. I'm not there yet. I'm on my way, but I haven't actually legitimized myself just yet. Now, one of those things is basically financial stability, proving that, what you do as a hobby that turned into a potential job. You make enough income to at least make up for what you would need to support yourself, your family, and that hobby and to continue doing it. And with Paul quitting his full-time job, and I don't know his financial setup, I won't pretend to understand, what his life is like, behind the camera. But to me, that was just like, hey, if he's financially stable enough by himself to quit, a good paying job, a very great job potentially, to start doing YouTube, then that's like 70, 80, 90,000. That's like the bar that you kind of have to set for yourself where you think you might be close to legitimizing yourself as a tech YouTuber. So with all that in mind, I started my YouTube channel, literally because he quit his job. He quit his job, I started a YouTube channel. Freaking weird, I know. And I still draw a lot of inspiration from his channel, not just because, his life changed made a change in my life, but because I do like some of his structure that he does in his videos, whether it's reviews or PC building, things like that. You know, I take a lot of notes. It's like, you know, I like the way he does that, or I like the way this is done. You know, I want to mix and match, you know, a little Jay here, a little Paul there, a little Jerry there, and I want to mix it into a pot, and then boom, bite my bits. Obviously, there's a lot more to it, but you get the idea. So back to the 3 legs of success for YouTube for me. The first one, of course, was, you know, financial stability. Basically solidifying your spot on YouTube, saying that you can make enough money doing this hobby that it's actually potentially a job for you. So that's number 1. Number 2 is peer acceptance. And I don't even know why I hang on this for so much, but I see, and I follow like Paul and Kyle and Tech Syndicate in the past. I see them basically, they go to like CES or some events, right? And they post this picture. You know, they posted a couple of them, and it's just all of the tech YouTubers sitting around at a table eating and drinking. You know, you see Pyle and Call and Jayztwocents, and they're just all they're just being normal freaking people, just hanging out with their peers that have accepted them, you know, as being part of the group, right? You're just accepted and like, hey, these are like me. They do the same thing I do. You know, I have accepted them. Welcome to the family. That type of deal. I don't know what that was, but. So as strange as it is, it's going to take me a few years probably to do it, to be able to afford to do it or find sponsorships to do it. But I will have my second peg, you know, or possibly the first peg, because it might take that much longer in order for me to actually earn enough money on this channel to legitimize myself. But I could possibly have that second peg if I go to a CES and I can surround myself by similar channels, you know, that came up at the same time I did, who maybe have the similar amount of subscribers as I do. And I can take that picture and say, you know, these are my peers. They accept me as part of them, and I accept them as part of me. You know, we're all in the same game together. We're enjoying this meal, and we're just being regular people who just happen to have YouTube channels. And even if I get my first and third peg, if I don't have that, I think I won't be complete. So I know it's completely just odd, but you have the financial, you know, verification that you're supposed to be there. You have the peer verification, the acceptance into the community, the little micro community they have. I mean, I couldn't even imagine how giggly I would be if I was sitting there with, you know, Jay and Jerry and just like, you know, shooting the shit. Like my head would literally explode. And obviously, since that's unobtainable, I have to hope that in like 2 or 3 years from now, you know, I might build some relationships with channels of my size, and we could say, hey, are you going to CES? Yeah, I'm going to CES too. Sweet. Let's hang out afterwards and go have some dinner, or maybe, you know, grab a couple beers, whatever. Let's talk about some of this technology and just, you know, be, you know, a group of people that are just into the same thing. I don't know. I think I'm letting too much out. I'm just going to fast forward to the third peg. The third thing that I think legitimizes myself, and it's going to be completely stupid, but it's the play button. I want a play button so terribly bad. I can just smell it. I see these people that just hang them on the wall like it's nothing, and I just sit there and cry like, I want to hang it on my wall. And the reason why I think it means so much is because it's like, hey, YouTube actually took their time to know who you are, to print it on a YouTube play button and mail it to you. Literally just saying, hey, you're on YouTube. We recognize that you are actually a YouTube channel. Congratulations. Here's your plaque. For some reason, that means a lot to me. And I really want that to happen. I don't know if it ever will, but I really want that to happen. If I can prove myself financially, fantastic. If I get accepted by a group of peers that are on the same level as me, amazing. But getting that YouTube play button, yeah, I get a special little spot for it right there. You see that? You see how that's big and open? That's where it's gonna go. Maybe I can like print a YouTube play button. You know, fake it till you make it, right? And holy crap, I have been talking for 50 minutes and 35 seconds. Don't worry. I probably edited that down to be a lot shorter. I know sometimes I vomit words, but that's basically all this video is. There's no meat and potatoes to it. It's just vomit. So hopefully you enjoyed what I had to say today. Because I've been recording so long, I think I'm just gonna have to end that now. I think I put a lot of weird things out there that I've been kind of keeping to myself. I don't know why I went down that path, but hey, there you go. I definitely have a long ways to go, and I hope that 2018 is a big stepping point to achieve at least part of that. Maybe I can start just buying and returning some computer hardware from different vendors, or maybe building for family members or friends. I don't really know. Either way, that's a goal I have. Hopefully I can work on it in 2018 or beyond, and hopefully I can start working on those 3 pegs of success that I have placed on myself to achieve. So again, thank you everybody for watching the crap that I put on YouTube. I don't know why you're here, but I appreciate you for being here. Hopefully I'll get better. Hopefully I'll have more interesting content in the future, and hopefully I'll continue to grow because of it. So as always, guys, if you have something to say, leave it down below. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.